Imagine taking two of the heaviest words in theology, right? Grace and righteousness, and completely rewriting how they function, almost like software mechanics.
Yeah, it is a wild concept.
Right. So today we're jumping into a really fascinating excerpt from a daily devotional. It's called Rhapsody of Realities by Pastor Chris.
We are just looking at how this text mechanically restructures, human potential and divine interaction, because it is a brilliant case study in how we view personal growth.
It really is. So let's start with righteousness. How does the text define it as this unchangeable baseline?
Well, it totally flips the traditional script. I mean, normally people treat righteousness as a sliding scale, right?
Right, like you volunteer, you donate, you avoid trouble, and you just move up a few points.
Exactly. But this author removes human effort from the equation entirely. Righteousness is presented as an identical, shared gift. It comes solely from Jesus Christ's sacrifice.
So wait, whether someone had a spiritual awakening like 5 minutes ago or 50 years ago, their level of righteousness is exactly the same.
Yes, that is the stark timeline the text offers. It is a completely fixed state. And the psychological shift there is massive.
Oh, I bet.
Because when you define righteousness not as some moral high ground to climb, but as a completed baseline, you just eliminate the constant anxiety of trying to, earn a perfect standing.
Think of it like the factory operating system on a brand new phone. You didn't code it, you can't improve it, and every single person gets the exact same perfect baseline OS right out of the box.
That is a great analogy.
Thanks. I mean, you will never be more righteous than you are today because you simply cannot upgrade the base code.
Right. Which forces a really critical question for the listener. If everyone is operating on the exact same baseline, how does this framework explain the wildly different paths and successes people experience in life?
And that brings us to the second concept, which is grace.
Right.
This is where the text treats grace as the complete opposite of righteousness.
Yeah, while righteousness is that static, unchangeable OS, grace is the dynamic variable. It can increase, it can multiply, and most importantly, it is distributed specifically according to God's purpose for you as an individual.
Okay, so sticking with our tech analogy, if righteousness is the base operating system, grace is the highly specialized custom apps you install for a specific job.
Exactly.
But wait, I need to push back on this a little bit. The text talks about a radius of influence for this grace. It argues that your specific grace only influences those connected to your calling. Doesn't that make this concept incredibly limiting? Well, if I see someone outside my radius who needs help, is the text saying I just lack the grace to help them? Are those specialized tools entirely useless to anyone on a different job site?
I see what you mean. It does sound restrictive at first glance, but, well, the text frames this as a mechanism of divine efficiency, not a limitation on compassion.
Oh, interesting. Divine efficiency.
Yeah. The idea is that grace is not just a blanket aura of goodness. It is an empowerment for a very specific mission. If you try to operate outside your designated calling, you are working under your own power, without that divine multiplier.
Oh, wow. So it is essentially protecting you from burnout. You aren't supposed to download every single app in the store, only the ones you actually need for your specific assignment.
Precisely. And when you interact with people who are assigned to your calling, your specific grace works from within to bless them and accomplish that unique purpose.
That makes a lot of sense.
It shifts the focus, right? From trying to be everything to everyone to executing your specific blueprint brilliantly.
It really completely changes how you view your daily energy. So under this framework, righteousness is what you receive equally. It is the baseline you don't have to stress over. And grace is what grows, adapts, and requires your focus to utilize it properly within your unique calling.
It is a profound way to look at where we direct our efforts. We move away from constantly trying to upgrade a foundation that cannot be changed and move toward mastering the highly specific tools we have actually been given.
Which leaves you, the listener, with something really fascinating to mull over today.
For sure.
If, as this text suggests, grace is strictly tied to a specific calling, how much of human frustration comes from trying to operate outside of the apps we were assigned?
That is the big question.
Are we exhausting ourselves trying to run software we were never meant to host? Something to think about.
We trust you were blessed by this episode. To gain unlimited access to Rhapsody of Realities by Pastor Chris, please download the Rhapsody app using the link myapp.rhapsodyofrealities.org. God bless you.